Our next guest is an early-stage venture capitalist who the last time was with us was very bullish on LinkedIn's IPO. That was last week. Now online gaming company Zynga appears to be preparing for its own listing, and I want to bring in Greycroft Partners Ian Sigalow. Ian invests in ad technology, internet software, and mobile services. He helps with several startup companies, including Buddy Media. That's one that you're really excited about, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you were excited about LinkedIn. Are you as excited about Zynga?
Yes, every bit as excited.
Why?
This social gaming category is a new category, and it's probably 5 years old. And Zynga owns the entire category at this point. They're not only the dominant player. My guess is they're 90+% market share. And if you look at the history of the company, when Facebook was started, it was just profile pages, and they built this thing called the stream or the news feed. And Facebook controls the news feed the same way that Google controls their search results. They're constantly tweaking it. And when Zynga launched, the newsfeed was a mess of stuff. You remember logging in and saying, my friend bought a cow, help me conquer level 12 boss on Mafia Wars. And they used that to aggregate a gigantic user base.
Right.
So at this point, they've got hundreds of millions of users, 90 million just on Cityville alone.
So they're making a lot of money.
They're making a ton of money,
okay.
A ton of money.
Yesterday, exact same time, I was asking Bob Rice, but what do they need more money for? Why do they need to go to the public markets?
They need to go to the public markets because there are investors in the company, and the company's at a $10+ billion valuation. So how do those investors get liquid if not for the public market?
Okay.
I think they're just at a scale where nobody can afford to buy them, honestly.
So they don't really need the money. It's more that the founders are cashing out, basically.
I think the investors and the founders will cash out over time, but not their entire holdings, some percentage of their holdings.
So, Ian.
Yes.
When you hear about when people hear about Zynga,
yes.
What kind of phone calls are you getting?
People talk about social gaming, and we see a lot of companies in this space too. I think at this point, we get two types of phone calls. One is, the IPO market's hot. Which of your companies are scheduled to go public next? Do you have any plays in social media that are interesting? And two is, we're seeing the next generation of companies that are using the stream, using the connective tissue that is Facebook to build value.
And what is your response to the first question?
To the first question?
The first one.
I think you'd have to talk to some of our CEOs. We've got a couple companies that play in this space. One is called Buddy Media, which Mike Lazaro is the CEO of that company, and they were the first company to do Facebook page management for brands.
Okay.
So today, about 70 of the 100 largest brands in the United States use Buddy Media's platform.
You mean to have a Facebook presence?
Yeah, so if you go to pick a brand, Dell Computer, if you go to SeaWorld, all of those brand pages are managed by Buddy Media's platform. So they use it to publish content to the wall, they use it to curate that content, and now they use it to buy advertising as well.
So then would you take a company like Buddy, would you try to find a way to exit? Would you find a way to bring it into the public markets earlier because of what's going on?
Earlier, when the time is right. I don't think that we're going to push for an IPO. In the case of Buddy Media, they're one of the fastest growing software companies of all time. This company really launched their product less than 3 years ago, and by the end of the year, they're going to be at greater than a $50 million run rate. So It's a very exciting business, but in the scheme of software, today you really need to have more revenue than that, I think, to go public.
Right. And what I'm driving at, obviously,
yes.
Ian, is that, do you feel like with your portfolio of companies that you need to start exiting and you need to start bringing them public earlier to sort of catch in on that momentum?
No, I don't think so. I think this is going to last for some time.
Okay. All right, Ian, thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Ian Sigalow of Greycroft Partners.